What's going on, guys? Zuko back with another Shadowlands video. I hope you're all doing very well. Grab a coffee, take a drink, kick back and relax. We're going to talk about Spires of Ascension that I did. It's in a VOD. I actually did it like a little while ago now. I just haven't had a chance to get the video out on it. And so my gear has changed like dramatically since I did this video. For example, I obviously have my two-piece tier set now. I did not have it during this VOD that I did on the Spires, but we did a plus 17 Spires, and I'm slowly climbing up the Mythic Plus sort of ladder here and getting 17s and 18s done, hopefully, in this coming week. Our rating is up to 2496 now, which is pretty insane. I'm pretty happy with it. The Spires is actually the highest we've done. Is 17 Tyrannical. So I haven't done any 18s yet. I'm going to do an 18 probably today. But we did 17 Spires was the highest we've done so far, which was really great. And now we can start to make up some of that extra ground on the Fortified week. Like I only have a 12 hulls on Fortified, and there's a bunch that we're going to start doing now that we have our tier set and we're kind of pumping out extra damage. So stay tuned for those videos. But for this one, we are going to be talking about the 17 Spires that I did. And we did time it. It did go very well. And I'm going to show you sort of a breakdown of the damage that we did and all that jazz. Let's get into the build first, though, that I ran. Of course, we're Mythic Plus. I was running Lashing Flames, Hot Hand, Hailstorm, and we were running PLA. We were running Primalev Actuators. That is, we sort of had this standard build. I could have done Fire Nova, but I decided to do Hailstorm instead because I just think it actually does more AoE damage over the course of a dungeon if you're making sure that you use it properly. And on Tyrannical weeks, it does way more single target damage, right? Frost Shock does a lot more single target damage than Fire Nova does. Fire Nova does 1700, Frost Shock does 2500. When you get the Hailstorm buff on Frost Shock, it ends up doing like 4k. So just on pure single target Tyrannical boss fights, you're going to do like almost, you know, you're going to do at least 2.5 times more damage than Fire Nova would. And on a 4.5 second cooldown. So it's just way, way better damage for Tyrannical, and it does very strong AoE damage. It does not have the same, like, uncapped AoE potential that Fire Nova does, right? If you pull 10 or 12 mobs together, Fire Nova will do more damage. But if you're pulling 10 mobs in this pack, and then 6 mobs in the next pack, and then another 6 or 7 mobs on the next pack, and if that's kind of how you're pulling, then Frost Shock with Hailstorm will do exceptionally well for you because it hits 6 targets. It hits your initial target, and then +1 for each stack of Maelstrom weapon you consume, which is 5. 5 plus 1 is 6, so you're going to hit 6 targets pretty much all the time. So that's that. That's the build that I ran. We were Necrolord in the dungeon. We had Magma Fist and Tumbling Waves instead of Chill to the Core. Get rid of that. You should basically always want to run Tumbling Waves, I think, in Mythic Plus. There are some instances where Chill to the Core is very, very good, but generally speaking, Tumbling Waves is really good for Necrolord because you want the resets on Primordial Wave to get the haste buff back, right? So that's what you're looking for there. That's the build. PLA, those are the talents. That's the Conduit setup there. Let's jump into the VOD, and let's get into exactly how this dungeon went. We've just pulled this over here, get my notes up before we get started. Video review. Make it big. Okay, so I'm going to jump around. I'm sure lots of you guys have done Spires before. I'm not going to do like the entire dungeon because that's just like kind of boring. I am going to talk about some specific things that are important for us as enhancement shamans to do. I'll show you instances where we're doing lots of damage, and I'll also show you instances where like you need to be using the tools that you have as an enhancement shaman. As you climb into higher Mythic Plus, it actually becomes less about just the raw damage that you're putting out, and you need to put out a certain amount of damage. That's for sure. You have to be good at doing damage. But it really becomes more about all the other little nuances in the game. How good are you at kicking? When do you use Cap Totem? When do you use Sundering? Are you interrupting abilities with Sundering rather than just doing damage? Are you using your Hex? Are you using Earthbind Totem to slow things like Spiteful, which is what this week was? This was Tyrannical, Spiteful, Necrotic on the tank. So this was last week. There's a lot of really important things that you need to do for whichever class you're playing. Can you get rid of curses with your decurse with your cleanse spirit. There's so many important little things that you need to do, and it really becomes important as you climb higher into Mythic Plus. So this is a great example here.
It's over. Redo.
Forgot to flesh grab.
Let's just do the 16.
So this opening pack is a really great example of us not doing the most damage in the group, but us being very important to help facilitate everybody else dealing damage, particularly the Warlock. And you're going to see that here. So we pull really big, which is great. The Paladin does a good job kicking with his Divine Toll. Then I'm trying to get my damage rolling. I'm not doing like anything right now, but we'll do our...
We don't have the big guy yet, right?
I'm really just focused on kicking.
I don't have kick up right now.
So then I have to kick the Goliath here with Rebellious Fist.
I got it.
So I'm helping Hero. Hero's doing 56k DPS right now, and Quag's doing 38, which is great. I wasn't able to catch up in time with my damage.
56k, by the way. Holy cow.
I wasn't even looking.
That's good. I'll get the next one.
So
you just did 56k.
There's moments in the dungeon where like it's really important that you let some of the other DPS, like Hero has, for context, Hero has his 4-piece tier set here. I don't have anything in this dungeon. I don't have any tier at all. So the damage is going to be a little bit different, but that's not the point. The point is to say that I'm here. I can help facilitate other people dealing damage as well. I can kick. I can put my Cap Totem down. I can slow the Spitefuls when they come out. I can help Hero deal all the damage that he needs to be dealing, right?
Where's my tier set?
Yeah, I didn't have it yet.
That's funny. That was
It's really important as you climb into higher Mythic Plus to get a team mentality. To say, listen, I'm not just here to show people that I can do damage on the meters. I'm here to do important jobs like kicking, like interrupting with Sundering, Cap Totem, slowing enemies, cleansing yourself, cleansing curses on other people like in a Sanguine Depths. There's so many important things that you need to do on your class, and it's not just about dealing damage. So don't get pulled into that rabbit hole. Think about the team and what you can do for them. You know, what can I be doing to help my team be more successful? Here's another example right here. You can run up to this Forsworn Mender and hex him, and then the tank can pull everything else in this pack. That Mender is really annoying, and if you want to hex him to get him away from the rest of the pack, it's really helpful. And the Paladin can go and pull the rest of the group here, and here's what he does.
No, this CPU's at like 20% or something. It's really good.
So here he goes. Now we pull everything except for the mob that's hexed. Now I can focus on getting
got a computer upgrade, actually,
Rebellious Fist on the Goliath. I can focus on kicking. I can focus on using Cap Totem to stun everybody once again.
I got it.
I got Rebellious there. Again, I'm doing more damage. Now we're back to doing 20k, and nobody else has their cooldowns. So again, we, as Primal Lab Actuator Enhancement Shaman players, you'll do lots of damage outside of your cooldown, outside of everybody else's cooldowns, right? But it's just really important to use your tools. Make sure you're using your tools because it helps the team out tremendously. It's just really good.
I got Rebel.
Then Hero gets his damage off again. If you can let other people do their damage, you're sort of helping them do that damage. Does that make sense? Obviously, you're not doing the damage for them, but like if all they have to think about is pressing their DPS abilities and you're taking care of everything else, they will do more damage, which is really, really great. So let's go to the first boss. 138. This boss fight, I'm just going to say a couple of things. Number one, you need to avoid this beam, right, that is in between the bosses. Number two, the tank should be tanking the bosses together. He made a mistake here. For like most of this fight, he doesn't tank them together. He really should be because it's really annoying. You can get cleave damage. Here, I run through the beam here because I'm tunneled and I make a mistake, so don't do that. Don't run through the beam like that. Also, if you can tank them together, you essentially do double damage because they have a shared health pool, right? So this is a really good fight. This is a really good fight for us as a Primal Lava Actuators because we have 2 targets to get our Flame Shocks on, and the Flame Shocks are both ticking, and they're both buffing your Lava Lash damage. So it's really, really good. It's essentially double damage for Lava Lash from a normal single target boss. So again, the bosses come together here, and he just doesn't keep them together. So what you want to do is, if he's not going to do that, then you need to just stay on one boss as long as you can. Just stick to one boss so that you can keep uptime on it. And it should be the Kintara boss, not the bird. Because if you try and follow the bird around the entire time, it just turns into a nightmare. But This tank was a little bit frustrating in terms of how much he moved around. It made this boss fight incredibly difficult, so you don't really want to do that. Keep the bosses together. Always keep them together. If you're ever tanking this dungeon, keep them together until Kintara flies away.
Lost, but we're doing great. Keep it up.
Because it just makes the boss fight really, really difficult if you don't do that. So let's skip ahead.
Speed.
This is another good thing the tanks do. He does this very well this time. The Paladin tank goes and pulls a bunch of adds that are up on the hills over here, right? There's a couple like over here. These birds that come down are fine. You can kill them. But the guys that come down with the spears, they will jump around. And so you need to pull them down to these stairs. And then you need to, like, stun them, use binding shot, use whatever you can use to keep them down here.
Using it?
Otherwise, they jump away. See how they're not jumping very far? If they were up on this other platform, they would be jumping, like, a mile away. So the tank did a great job here.
But they're just going to try and jump away, so it's really good.
There's binding shot. They're stuck now for like 7 seconds. It's tons of DPS time right there. So this is what you want to do as the tank. This is really, really helpful. Really, really good stuff here by the tank. For us, it's a great time to use Cap Totem. I've already used it. And it's a great time to use...
They just jump away and throw spears at you.
Earthbind Totem if you want to use it. All that jazz. Use all the tools that you have at your disposal. You're going to kill them and you're going to go across to the other side. You can also use Earthbind Totem here. This is a really important tip that I don't see people ever doing on their Shamans. Make sure you throw your Earthbind Totem in here. I'm doing it right now. Watch this. I put it down and it reveals the cats that are there. The cats that are on this side are in stealth. And if you just walk up to them as the tank, they will stun you out of stealth. And they will repeatedly stun you over and over again. And it doesn't have like diminishing returns on it. It's like a full 1.5 second stun. And there's like 6 of them. So you can just get stun locked for like 10 seconds straight and die as the tank. But if you throw some abilities in here, like a flare from Hunter or Earthbind Totem from Enhancement Shaman, you can reveal the cats right away, and then the tank doesn't have to go in there and take any damage whatsoever. So I get stunned by one right there. 1.5 second stun. The tank's looking for the rest of them. He does concentration, and it reveals the other 2. You need to help your tank out in this section. Otherwise, he could just literally get one-shot by those cats. So use your tools as a shaman. Use your tools.
Oh, yeah, his life that he takes or whatever from his other minions.
We're talking about the Warlock getting nerfed. Let's go over here. 141. Oh, no.
All the warlocks are like
145.
Discord boys.
This is a really good fight. Once again, you need to organize who's kicking what. We have a really good kick as Enhancement Shaman, so we need to be using it. The Paladin told me right away which one he wants to kick, so that was great.
The other one.
That was really helpful. This is good fight for us. This is 3-target cleave. Look at our damage. Cool. This is where Enhancement Shaman like shines. Your kick is on a really low cooldown. I get a hot hand proc.
I might need a kick. Okay,
so I'm tab targeting through enemies, and I'm trying to get the Lashing Flames debuff on everybody, and my damage is going up 17k. I have another Primordial Wave window coming up. I had 2 resets on Primordial Wave here, so good that happened. I think I used it again here. Maybe not. I guess I'm holding it for the next pack. But we end up doing really solid cleave damage. That's where we shine. So in this particular dungeon, you're going to see that like Hero and Quag have incredibly strong, like uncapped AoE damage. Like when there's lots and lots of enemies, Hero's Rain of Fire is just absolutely crushing everything. When there's smaller amounts of enemies, like 4 to 5 enemies, that's where we catch up in damage as the Enhancement Shaman. We actually did so much damage here that we aggroed one of the birds.
Yep, I did too much damage.
I ended up just fighting him one-on-one.
Come here, buddy. Let's go one-on-one.
Because it doesn't matter. We don't need to. Anyway, it's solid damage from us. So just remember your DPS profile. It's very consistent. PLA is consistent damage. You're not going to spike super hard like the other guys will with their cooldowns, but you'll have consistent pack-to-pack damage, and you will catch up in the end. You'll see at the end of the dungeon here. So let's go to the boss fight, Ventunax. Ventunax is really, 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 really annoying. One thing I want to say right off the bat for this fight. If you're tanking this fight, don't do what this tank does right now, please. Do not do what this tank does.
For some reason. It's just, you get these weird things.
What you want to do as the tank is you want to stand in the middle right here. I'm going to give you a little pointer right now. If you ever do this dungeon as a tank, stand in this middle area. Ventunax will attack you, and then he will jump away and put a dot on one of the ranged people. When he does that jump away thing, he puts a black puddle right under your feet, that black little sphere that shoots out the orbs. He puts it under the tank's feet. You need to put them all in the middle of this arena, because then everybody else in your team can see where they are at all times. You need to tank the boss in the middle here, And then you also need to drop the black things in the middle here. You as the tank, you stand pretty much really close to the black things all the time. That's not what this tank does. The pally goes over to the side here, which is kind of okay to start. But again, it's just, if you put the black puddle thing over on the side here, then everybody has to like turn their cameras to face that area so they can see when it's coming, right? Versus if it's in the middle of the arena, they can see it no matter where they're looking. You want to make it easier on your DPS. So I can barely even see this.
Can we not be right on top of it?
Yeah, you don't want to stand right on top of it as the tank. That's not what I'm saying. Don't stand right on top of it because then it's just really annoying. So this is okay right now because I can see this one. I can kill the boss and I can see it. But now this tank does a weird thing. He runs to the other side of the arena.
Okay, now he's running to Timbuk too. Can you just pick
Now I can't see the other one that we just put down. I can't see the black
something?
thing, right? Now I got to stop and turn my camera. I got to stop and turn my camera like right here just to try and see it coming. This is so awkward, right? If we were just in the middle of the arena with those black things, you'd be able to see them really quickly, not have this weird, awkward camera motion. So this is the main part of this fight that I want to talk about. The tank, it's all about the tank on this fight. You need to do this fight properly. If you don't, it's really frustrating for the DPS. It just really is. So that's all I really want to say. We actually do really strong single target damage because of hot hand procs. And even with only getting 10% haste from Primordial Wave, the hot hand procs are huge. So just remember, if you're ever going to tank this fight, I'm going to try and do this on my Guardian Druid and do like a little tips and tricks video on it because it's so annoying if you don't do it correctly. It's just like so frustrating for the DPS, honestly. Okay. We do end up killing him.
It's just
This next pack, sorry.
I
thought we
think,
were
but
closer.
I wouldn't risk it.
145.
They did actually, I believe, fix it.
Oh,
but I-
145. Sorry. I'm on the wrong thing here. 155.30. Here we go.
Kill this little relic and then don't focus the Automa.
Yeah.
right away.
So
Focus the
in
big
this
damage
section,
guy.
when you're on a plus 10 or higher in the dungeons, obviously you have the Automas that spawn. You want to kill the Wo Automa here, and then because it allows you to skip this next pack, right? So we're gonna skip ahead. We kill the Wo Automa. Sorry, let me go back. We kill the Wo guy here, the Wo Drifter, and you get stealth and speed, and you can just run past all these guys without having to use an invis pot.
Come out of the Wo guy.
This is typically the part of the dungeon where you need to use an invisibility pot to get past these guys on the stairs. But now you can just run all the way past all these guys, and you don't have to die to these usurpers. It's so nice. You get all the way over to this pillar, and then the tank will pull.
Look
Hero
at
looks
you.
hilarious. Look at him.
Look at you're in like stealth mode. You're all bent over,
He's hunched.
over, ready to pounce.
And then the tank can pull, and then you've sort of used your Wo Drifter buff. Really, really strong to use the Wo Drifter buff there. So that's a little tip there. Let's oh, I end up dying here. That's right, I end up bouncing. I was moving so fast. Watch this. I'm moving so fast from Wo that I just made. I don't know why.
Thank you.
Was I running away from Spiteful? I forget what happens here. I'm running away from
Can't catch
Spiteful.
me, Spiteful dude. I'm already on. I'm on.
I'm like, I do this stupid thing where I do a huge jump. I'm like, you can't catch me.
Don't fall in the middle, by the way.
Yeah, so I killed myself. It was pretty stupid. Then we do the next boss fight. This is Oryphrion. Nothing really special here for us. Obviously, at the start of every boss fight, you want to try and get your Primordial Wave to hit 4
This guy needs,
targets
like,
so that you get 40%
miles.
more haste.
This is crazy.
This boss fight's pretty boring. There's nothing special going on here. There's not even really any mechanics that we're going to do as a shaman. We have a paladin, so he's going to soak all the blue orbs when they come in.
Boss is so funny. He just steps on you.
That's it, guys. There's nothing special here. We're going to move forward. We end up killing him, of course. We're going to go to 203.10. So these triple... We're on Tyrannical Week.
I think we have the room.
One thing I want to say about these 3 ladies up top. We're on Tyrannical Week, so it's not fortified, so they're not buffed. It's the 3 ladies, or the 3, whatever, guys, before the big boss fight. You should do 2 of them at the same time. If you do 2 of them at the same time, you have to kill them at the exact same time, so you have to be really careful about that. But this is not a fortified week, so it's actually easy to kill them both at the same time. The problem is we didn't know the tank or the healer in this group. They were pugs. So we were just kind of going with whatever he wanted to do. I didn't want to mess it up. Our timer was fine. We had enough time to do this. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. We had enough time to do this without actually double pulling those guys. So we just decided to do it one at a time. But you should do this 2 at a time.
Stop moving. Where are you going, dude?
This tank was so frustrating as a melee character. Like, he just moved all the time. You need to have really subtle movements as a tank, not like loud movements. So anyway, we end up killing them all 1 at a time. We do get them down, but on fortified, I mean on tyrannical weeks, you should kill 2 at a time here. You should do the first 2, and then you spear the 3rd one, and that'll be it. You go a lot faster. So that's my recommendation. We just didn't know the tank or the healer, and so I didn't want to like push our luck. But if I had everybody on voice comms and Discord, absolutely, I would double pull this. So just so you guys know.
DPS just does a lot of damage. I don't know, maybe.
So here's Devos. Nothing really special on Devos. This is the final boss, of course. The fight is just really long on Tyrannical and really like annoying. You have to just buckle in for the long haul here. And the circle, obviously you have to keep getting in the circles and respect those mechanics. But we did get the Vi Relic for the haste. I think that's the best one. I don't know, maybe is better because on Tyrannical this fight is so long. It just depends what classes you're running. Might be better if everybody has low cooldowns. But that's one thing I do want to talk about is I wish that we did this more. You can bait Devos to sort of dash into the wall. Like, look at this run through. Watch this run through. She doesn't go anywhere, right? So everybody in our group should be standing together. They should be. We should all be like up against this wall so that she only ever dashes a short distance into the wall, basically. You should, you kind of should be doing that, especially on higher keys. You don't have the time. You don't have the luxury of her, like, dashing all the way across this arena.
I actually think we need to get better at doing this. Like, I'll be baiting her to, like, not have very big run-throughs.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Watch this Abyssal Detonation. Watch Quag. Look at that turtle.
Wow, that turtle timing. I thought you were dead. I was dead.
He was so close. He couldn't get to the circle.
Went off before your turtle did.
Yeah, that was really tight.
Okay, this is perfect. We'll do this, and then
lost confidence.
CDs. Lost confidence.
That's funny. So again, you're just gonna do this. One other tip here is don't get hit by the black circles at all.
Try not to get hit by the black puddles.
Just avoid them because they'll put a stack on you. I already have one, but I dodge these circles and then dodge this one. I'm healing some people. You have lots of good off healing as an enhancement shaman, but just dodge the black circles. And then I only have 2. Everybody else has like 5. I think Hero got 6 there.
It always looks like it'll miss on your screen. It's really weird.
But anyway,
for some reason it always looks like
this fight's pretty easy. There's nothing special here. We do end up killing her, and let me just skip to the end here. We got 36 rating. It was crazy. I didn't get any gear, but that's okay. I actually just wanted the rating, so it was very, very good. We ended up doing 10.1K overall. Remember, we did not have a tier set here. We didn't have any tier set bonus at all. So 10.1K was okay. But it'll certainly be better this week when I'm doing dungeons. It'll be way, way better. We're going to be doing so much extra damage. So that is the that's the Spires 17 that we did. That's it in a nutshell there. So it's not easy, but we did this with a pug tank and a pug healer. So really the higher mythic plus stuff is all about your damage, guys. You can carry everything if you're just doing enough damage to plow through the enemies. And with double legendaries now and tier set bonuses coming online, we should be able to push really high into mythic plus for this season. So I'm really excited. I'm excited to get 2500 rating hopefully today and push my way up there. But there's some tips and tricks for you for a Spires of Ascension if you're going to do it. There's some really important cooldowns that Enhancement Shaman has in particular. We have our Cap Totem. Sundering is really, really good to interrupt people. You can hex important enemies like the Menders. Using Earthbind Totem is really good on Spiteful. You can use Earthbind Totem to scout for those invisible cats. Really important stuff right there. So make sure you're using all the tools at your disposal to make the dungeon go quicker. You can see that if you're there helping to facilitate other DPS members in the party, like the Warlock when he was doing 56k DPS, you're doing your job. You don't need to be doing 50k DPS matching him. You're kicking, you're stunning, you're slowing, you're pressing Sundering. You're doing all kinds of extra things that are going to help the other DPS to be even more successful. So again, it's a party thing. It's a group thing. You're there as a team, and you're trying to do it together as a team. And we have so many tools that help us do that. So that's Aspires. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to drop a like down below, I would really appreciate it. It really helps everything out a lot. If you have not subscribed to the channel yet, get down there and press the red button, or I'll hunt you down. I won't hunt you down. It's okay. I'm just kidding. But go press the red button, okay? Thank you guys so much for watching. Until the next one, we'll see you later.